well, you've been around a little while, not as long as me by the look of it, but you know, a while. And you're all specialists, you all know what you're doing, you've got lots and lots of experience. And it's quite difficult not to just, you know, tell people all about that because you're so passionate about what you've got to say. But unfortunately, it goes in one ear and well, I don't know where it goes after that, because quite honestly, you're talking in lots of words and excitement about what you've got to do. And people, especially if the sound is compromised, they don't even know what the first sentence meant. So make sure that the content is right for your audience. That means you've got to think about your audience, because your audience responds to feelings and emotions. And lots of people say, you know, 70% of people will be bankrupt by the end of this, and 20% of this. People don't, what would 70% of what? But if you home into people's pain points, the things they're thinking about at this moment, and tap into their feelings and emotions, guys, you're onto a winner. Now, how do you do that? Now, you've all been in business a little while, so you've probably got at least one client, hopefully more than that, who really likes you, came to you in a bit of a state, whatever it was, didn't know about the will for, you know, Lucy's people, you know, all sorts of problems there, or, you know, digestive problems. You know, you were saying there, Irving, about, you know, various illnesses and things, you know, people with problems, because that's what's top of their mind. So if you've had clients who like you, you need to ask them, go back and ask them things like, what were your feelings and emotions before you came to me? What was, you know, what did it feel like with the worries that you had? Then, why did you come to me? I hope you're making notes, ladies, because this is, gentlemen, because this is important. Why did you come to me? And then what were your feelings and emotions after we'd done the work together? And those are your gold dust bits of information that you need to use in your content. Absolute gold dust, because you can imagine if those clients tell you about those feelings and emotions, those are the very words that you need to use in your presentations. And don't fall into the trap like a lot of people do, and they get and here's something that one of my clients wrote, and off they go and they read it all out. No, you don't want to do that. You want to come in with those feelings and emotions, words, those words, so immediately people can feel those words and they're hooked straight away. So let me give you a little bit of an insight to an example. Now, I've got nothing against accountants. I love accountants. I've got an accountant, and anybody who deals with money, you know, you have to have an accountant, because quite frankly, you know, without it, your business is all over the place. But unfortunately, there's something about accountants. They come on, they say, hello, I'm Debbie Catt, and I'm an accountant. And that means I do VAT and end of year figures and bookkeep. Well, of course you do. You're an accountant. That's what you do. Now, can you see how boring that is? Because, you know, that's what accountants do. I'm not saying accountants are boring, but what they say is boring. Now, you've got to remember there's two sorts of audiences out there, only two. And again, these are gold dust tips and techniques, ladies and gentlemen. The first group is the people who already have somebody who does whatever you've got or do. Okay, so in the example of the accountant, people who've already got an accountant. Okay, so you come on and you say, hello, I'm Debbie Catt, I'm an accountant, boop, ears gone, press the delete button, gone, not interested. The second group, they're the ones who, for whatever reason, have decided they don't need your products or service. So in the accountant, you know, they've either tried it, didn't like it, haven't got one, don't need one. Okay, so on you come, hello, I'm Debbie Catt, I'm an accountant, but delete, gone, because they've decided they don't need one. You've lost them in that 10 seconds, vital 10 seconds. Okay, they've gone. So what do they say to get people interested? Well, here is what I told an accountant recently when I was working with them. You go up to the lens and go a little bit quieter and you whisper, because it's sort of conspiratorial. So that gets their interest in. And you say, over lockdown, how often has your accountant come to you and actually asked if they needed any help, if you want help from them or anything? And what about that tax holiday from the HMRC page? Did you struggle with that? Well, let me tell you, every one of our clients got a phone call from us every month, and every one of our clients got that tax holiday. And although their hair was in tufts, we managed to stop it all falling out. We gave them that tax holiday. Now, can you see the difference? I haven't said anything about how long I've been trained, where our offices are, what I do, tax and all that, or we grew up in the cloud, or we try and work as part of a team. None of that old nonsense. I've tapped in immediately to what those people are thinking about. The very fact that the tax holiday, that's what they want. And the HMRC page, you mentioned that, because that's a nightmare. So let's go back to our two groups of people. The first group of audiences, they're the ones who've already got an accountant. What are they thinking? Anybody got an idea? They're going, my accountant hasn't been in touch with me the whole time. And I did struggle with that bloody page. And if I'd been with Debbie, I didn't get my tax holiday after all that struggling. Maybe I ought to ditch them and come to Debbie. So I've got them. What about the other group? They're the ones who say, I don't need an accountant. Okay, I can do it all myself. What are they thinking? I have struggled over lockdown. It's been a bit tough. And I did struggle with that HMRC page, and I didn't get my tax holiday. It would have been great. Maybe it's worth giving Debbie a try. Can you see the difference? Because I was tapping in to them. I wasn't telling them all about me. I was thinking about them and the struggles that they've got. So, ladies and gentlemen, go back to your clients. Think about what you've got to say. Get their feelings and emotions and use that in your content. Okay? And then craft it in words that they understand, using those feelings and emotions. Don't use technical phrases. I got an email the other day from a guy who was trying to get some business from me. I'd met him on a networking thing. And he started off this email saying, the slug on your URL is not, and I thought, what's he on about? The slug on my, I've got any slugs, I can't see anything. Oh, there's a couple of ferrets over there and a squeaky chicken, but there's no slug, and he was using the technical phrases, from his knowledge. He wasn't thinking about me at all. Now, would I bother to even reply to his email when he can't even be bothered to think about, what he's talking about? So the answer is, make sure it's relevant. So your content has to be absolutely spot on. Now, just looking at the time, because this, whirlwind activity here, let's move on to delivery. Now, delivery is in two sections. One is the environment of delivery, and the other is your actual delivery. Okay, so let's look at the environment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing is your background. Now, looking at some of you have got very busy backgrounds, some of you have got very plain backgrounds. The point about it is, on screen, you've lost a dimension. So you've only got two dimensions left, sound and vision. Now, what you want is people to be focused on you, not looking at what's going on behind you. And I can't see anything. It's a classic. Sometimes, where the plant is sticking out through at the top and looking, and everybody's looking because it looks like you've got a big pineapple on the top of your head or something. It looks ridiculous. Now, there's a phenomenon that if you are actually distracted and your eyes are looking at something, you can't actually hear. That old thing of tapping your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time, it's not really possible. Well, it's the same. If you're looking at something behind or that background, and if you've got like a notice board with lots of bits of paper on and people are trying to read it, because the brain's going, what can you see, eyes? And eyes are going, well, there's some paper on, and brain's saying, well, what's on the paper? What's on the paper? All the time you're looking. So here's another piece of gold dust, ladies and gentlemen. Get a on-screen buddy. That's somebody like either a partner, husband, wife, pal, colleague, and have a Zoom call with them and ask them what is going on behind you. Because when you look, it's not easy to see exactly how it's coming over. And ask them if there's anything distracting. And while you're doing that, look at the lighting. Now, let me do something here. If I turn off my lights, I've got two. Can you see how different that looks? My whole left side is in darkness and the rest of it's not all that brilliant. Well, the rest of it's not that brilliant to start with, but anyway, the lighting's not too bad. So it's really important that you have decent lighting, because if you don't have good lighting, people can't see you. Therefore, they won't listen. They won't want to listen. The other thing also is if your mouth is not illuminated, people who have hearing problems cannot lip read. And that's a huge problem. And this is why on-screen work is really difficult for people with hearing difficulties. Okay, now the other thing is eye contact. When you go into a meeting, normally you shake hands with people and you smile. That's a lovely thing. You smile always, because it doesn't matter what else happens. A good smile gets that commitment and engagement. And then you look at them in their eyes. Now, eye contact is the most important thing, because most of you are looking down at the screen at the moment. I can see that. You're looking down because you're not actually talking to me. Well, that's fine. But if I'm looking down at the screen when I'm talking to you, can you see how the engagement goes? Remember those meetings where you went in and you shook hands with people and then their eyes just go across to the door to see if there's somebody more interesting coming in? Anybody had that happen to them? And or is it just me, Billy No Mates, or am I just boring? But what happens when you do that? It's so rude, isn't it? I feel like saying, slap them round the face and say, hello, I'm here. Look here for a minute. You can go over there and well, I've never done that, of course. Well, not actually, I think I might. No, I wouldn't have done that. But you know, you really want to say, just a minute, it's rather rude looking away when you're talking to me. Well, that's what you're doing when you're looking down. So when you're talking to people, you need to look. Now, does everybody know where their lens is? Okay, does anybody know where the lens is on their device? Because both on my desktop and my little laptop here, there it is, right at the top in the middle, and it's a little light on. So can everybody see that? I hope they can. Now, here's the technique. Here's another bit of gold dust for you. Gosh, I'm giving away everything today. Well, why not? Because Debbie deserves it with her lovely group. And you need eyeballs, okay? See these eyeballs? You need 2 of those, okay? 2 little eyeballs. Now, what you do with those is you stick them either side of the lens, because the lens is the nose, and these are the eyeballs either side, and that is the face you should be looking at. And that's the face you should be talking to, not down here, not over there, not up there, but there. Now, for those of you who've got glasses, it's a bit of a problem as well, because we have another barrier. And that's a problem, because if you're looking down, your screen is reflecting up into your glasses and people can't see your eyes. Now, here's another thing. If I take my glasses off, can you see how much more compelling? I've got lovely eyes, I've been told, or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, but I'm looking at you properly at the lens. Now, if I look down, can you see how different it is? If I'm talking to you, it's just not so interesting or compelling. So, you know, remember that. That's why you need your on-screen buddy, because we have a design fault, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, our eyes both point in the same direction. So when we're looking, okay, when I'm looking there, I can't look to see where else I'm looking, because the other eye follows it, you know, they go together. So if you're looking to see where you're looking, you're not looking in the right place. That's why you need someone else to tell you, am I looking at you now? Am I looking at you now? And so on. Okay, so that is the delivery scenario. The other thing is now a personal type of delivery, because I said it's split into 2, the environment and your actual delivery. Now, I don't know, during some of those presentations, did anybody's Wi-Fi go a bit funny? And suddenly somebody's talking like that. Have you heard that? When the Wi-Fi is unstable. Well, that happens quite often, unfortunately, which is why you need to talk more slowly. Oh, look, there's a lovely cat over there. Lovely. It is a cat, not a dog, isn't it? I can only see the back end. Sorry. Oh, marvelous. Okay. I can't tell from back ends. You see, they all look the same. Anyway, so you need to speak more slowly and clearly. This is not a conversation. Now, I'm not thinking you have to talk like that. Okay, but this is a performance. It is not a conversation. And if you gabble through everything because you're all a bit nervous and it's all got through that, and you know what you're going to say, and nobody hears anything. So you need to pause. You need to change your tone and pace and keep things interested, and occasionally bring something in. Now, you know, the sales of rubber chicken since I've been doing this have gone up 100-fold, but you don't have to have that. But I need you to find your inner squeaky chicken, because somebody out there does exactly the same as you, and probably 100 people, probably 1,000 people. And even on this call, there's people who do similar things. So what have you got, ladies and gentlemen, that's absolutely unique? Anybody got any idea? I know Debbie's got a lovely cat there, but you know, other people have cats. So what have we got that's different? Anybody know? It's you. You're the only thing that you've got different, because you know there's only one Debbie Gilbert, and there's only one Debbie Catt. Well, thank heavens, people say, actually, but that's not true. That's a bit unkind. But and what I've got is, because I'm slightly bonkers, and Carol, who's a very, very good friend of mine and a wonderful colleague, we've done a brilliant masterclass last year together, where she did her beautiful things about, you know, your style and so on, while I did this. But you have your personality. And what I help people to do is be comfortable enough to be themselves, because that's what you've got to get out there, guys. You know, with our accountants, even if they do what I say, they're still just accountants. They're all different. And some are, you know, really quite sort of austere, and some are really soft and gentle and nice. Now, you know, there's somebody out there that appeals to everybody. So you've got to get your personality out and show them what makes you special and what makes them want to come to you for that product or service. Okay, so you've got to find your inner squeaky chicken. Now, what I often say, which is really interesting, is where are we? All sorts of things going on. You don't need a magic wand. You need your inner squeaky chicken. And that's my challenge for you guys, to go away from today and find your inner squeaky chicken and see what it is that you can use. Now, props are wonderful because they get people's attention. You know, we've had ears already. We've had, you know, all sorts of funny things. And, you know, I even put my giraffes on. And I often say, you know, if I was a giraffe, it wouldn't work actually on here because my neck would be too high and you wouldn't see all sorts of nonsense. But it gets people's attention and they remember. So apart from your delivery, which needs to be clear and sensible and, how shall I put this, you know, well thought through, you've got to have something that makes you different. Now, a friend of mine is a bereavement counsellor. Now, you can imagine in the middle of a bereavement session, it wouldn't be necessarily appropriate for him to produce a rubber chicken, because that might upset people. But actually it might, because he's actually a bit bonkers as well. He's got a good sense of humour. But what he has is a beautiful poem. And this poem is beautifully presented on a piece of paper, but he doesn't read it out and, again, lose connection with people. What he does is he's got it on this paper and he holds it up so people can see it. And it's beautifully illustrated with birds and flowers and things. And he gets people to read it. Therefore, he's got their engagement. And I'm just going to get another thing, because you need to stand out from the crowd. And if nothing else, you'll remember my funny ears and my funny things. And that's what I want people to remember. It's about personality. So I'm going to sum up now, because I think Debbie's looking a little bit concerned now. Yes, she's nodding. Yes, off she goes. So what I'm going to say is, just remember, ladies and gentlemen, content, really important, feelings and emotions, delivery, environment, get your on-screen buddy to help you so that you make sure you're looking at the right thing and delivering it with proper personality. And how are you going to deliver it? How are you going to make this performance stand out so that you are not just one of the crowd? Debbie Catt, Catt Consulting. If I can help you at all, let me know. But you need to get your presentation over with power and personality. And that means it's you, just you, and be memorable for all the right reasons. Thank you.